Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician channel, and today we're going to be going back into the Amazon tool deals, and I really hope you guys enjoy. These are either going to be tools that are on sale, tools that even at their full price I believe to be good deals, or they may be tools that I find to be interesting and would like your guys' opinion on if you guys have used them. Now first up, we're going to jump right in. This is a Great Neck product. I think I've owned two products from Great Neck. They make some lower quality tools, but if you're a DIYer looking for a cheap socket set, this is a good possibility. This is an item that could be either something to take into consider or something not to consider, and I'll get to that in just 1 minute. So I don't have bad or good experiences with Great Neck. The couple of products that I do own from them, I've probably used a handful of times in the last 5 years, so nothing negative to say, but nothing to where I would be like, these are some great tools for a great price. This is just something that I wanted to share and let you guys decide, is this something worth purchasing or is it something to stay away from? So this is a 1/4" drive set. It is 24 pieces. It's just metric and it's deep and shallow, 4 through 14 millimeter. It does include 5.5. It does not include 4.5. It is only $20 and has 4.5 stars at 680 ratings. So not bad. This is something that I would suggest to a DIYer looking for a cheap set, not anybody getting into the professional field or anybody that does a lot of work. I'm not sure how well these would hold up. Truthfully, I haven't even used the ones I own enough to say that they're going to hold up, because I don't use them enough, because I have many other sockets that I use before even thinking about those now. But this does come in a little blow molded case to keep it organized. Now, just like the set that I have, it is an extremely thin plastic organizer. This is not like the plastic organizers that you're going to get from Snap-on or that you're going to get from Icon or any of those other brands that use the plastic organizers. These are extremely thin plastic. Even in the picture, you can kind of see the light shining through at the bottom, how deformed it is on the side. It's very thin, but it is an organizer, and if you leave it in one location and don't mess with it, it'll hold up fine. If you're constantly moving the organizer around, it's going to crack and split, and you're going to have issues with it. Now, for $20, I think it's a pretty decent set for a DIYer. It's something I wasn't going to put in this video, but I figured it'd be something I'd rather get your guys' input on. I'm not personally going to purchase it because of what I own, but if I was a DIYer and I just needed a small set, it's definitely something that I may consider. But this is where, you need to keep an eye out with anything that you purchase on Amazon. This has 4.5 stars at 680 ratings, but sometimes Amazon's reviews are tricky. Like you will see a lot of items out there with thousands upon thousands of reviews, and it'll have 4.5 stars, but out of those 10,000 reviews, 2,000, 3,000 of those are 1 or 2 stars, but it's still up there at 4.5 stars. So it behooves you to go in and look at those reviews. Now, on some items, there are reviewers out there are some real sticklers out there that will complain about the most minute thing, but sometimes it's always worth just looking at the reviews, because some of them are actually really bad. Now, like in this instance, this person received the item and 4 of these sockets were actually Duralast sockets. Now, not a big deal if I'm buying a $20 set of sockets, because Duralast isn't going to be any worse than Great Neck. But then, like, somebody had reviewed that all of the sockets were great except for one of them looked to have a crack down at the base where the drive side of the socket or ratchet attaches to each other. There was a small crack, and just small things. So but once again with a $20 set, you can't really expect much. I'm not expecting top of the line quality or anything like that, but once again, I think for $20 it's not a bad DIY little socket set, especially for 1/4" drive. You're not putting a lot of torque on these. You're not being super aggressive with these 1/4" sockets, so I wouldn't be afraid to purchase this. It's just I wouldn't get my hopes up in thinking that this is a fantastic organizer with some great sockets. I'm thinking that these sockets are going to do me just fine for what I need especially when I'm only dropping a $20 bill on them. So I figured I'd just throw that in there. Please let me know your guys' thoughts or any experience that you have with Great Neck products. Next up is going to be a little bit better socket set, a little bit over double the price of what we were looking at, but you're also getting 47 pieces. So this is the Gearwrench 47-piece quarter-inch drive socket set. This is also a 6-point socket set. You're going to get shallow and deep, just like the other set, but you're going to get SAE and metric. I'm just going to go ahead and say that they're a little bit better quality than the Great Neck stuff. A little bit more effort put into them. The metric is going to have a knurled ring at the base of these sockets. The SAE are going to have a dual ring around the base so you can identify the SAE to the metric. Once again, these Gearwrench sockets, Gearwrench has kind of been hit or miss the last few years. A lot of like the China ratcheting wrenches are something I would stay away from. Some items from Gearwrench you just have to be careful with, but a lot of the times you can find some really good deals on some good quality stuff. So I think this is a good mid-range socket set for quarter-inch drive at $56, down from $99, so a savings of 43%. Here you can kind of see some of the information on it, just your standard information, the off-corner loading that you're going to find in basically all socket sets now, the full chrome polishing, the chamfered opening, stamped size markings. Here you can see the knurling at the bottom of the SAE socket, or the metric socket, my apologies. And then on the SAE, you're just going to find a dual ring without the knurling. And then this has 4.5 stars at 545 ratings. And it is going to come in a blow molded organizer as well. This isn't something that is shown in the Amazon photos as far as the ad itself, but under the reviews you can see customers posting pictures of the actual socket sets coming in a blow molded case. Now there was a review stating that their 7/32 socket or one of those were misshaped or something was wrong with it, which is a simple warranty or contact to the seller to get that taken care of. But other than that, it seems to have really good reviews. I do like that it comes in this little organizer because everything is close. It keeps everything organized and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So definitely a good option for that $56 price range. Next up are going to be a couple items that I actually used when rebuilding the Camaro. I used these items a lot when rewiring the car. First up is a PET expandable braided nylon sleeving. This is from Alex Tech. This is $9. You can get it in various sizes and lengths and colors. You can get it in just black, black and blue, black and red, and white. I went with the black and red and black to kind of go with my theme underneath the hood, and I've been very pleased with the stuff. It is good for home use or automotive use. Not all of them are, so you need to be careful what brand you go with. This one is rated from minus 103 degrees to 257 degrees, and then the melting temp of the braided sleeving is 446. So it does handle a decent amount of heat. Now anywhere that I had cables or wires close to, say, the headers, I did just go ahead and use a heat sleeve protector over the wiring, but this still does handle a decent amount of heat, so definitely good for around the engine bay. It's going down my fenders or the wheel wells and then along the firewall, and it's great stuff. Now keep in mind it comes in two different versions. This is the expandable one, so if you have open wires without connectors on the end, or you're wiring something, this is fantastic. If you have a large connector and you don't plan on removing that connector, you may not be able to get this expandable braided sleeving over top of that connector. This is more for your open-ended wires, or if you don't mind removing the connector to get the braided sleeving on. And then anytime I did use this, I also like to use a little small amount of heat shrink at the end to keep everything compressed, and it looks very nice. The other option I went with was also from Alex Tech, and once again you can get this in various different sizes, lengths, and colors. And this is their nylon split sleeving, and both of these items are going to be a great replacement for that horrible plastic sheathing that you find in your engine bay that as soon as you touch it or try and open it, remove the tape on or anything like that, it just crumbles into a million different pieces due to age and heat. This stuff is a lot more durable and looks much better. So anything that I had connectors on that I didn't want to remove the connectors on, or just depending on what I was really working on in the engine bay as far as wiring, determined whether I used this style of split sleeve or if I used the expandable one. Both of them priced very well. Obviously, that's going to differ on the size and length that you purchase, but both of them are rated very, very highly at 4.5 stars. One has 31,000 reviews. I think the other one has 16,000 reviews, all, and at 4.5 stars. Both really good products, both able to handle up to that 446 degrees. It's kind of nice, this stuff, because the split sleeving automatically rolls on top of each other. So like as soon as you tuck the wires inside, it kind of self-closes. You don't have to worry about, forcing it closed. It wants to rest in that rolled position. Like I said, I would use heat shrink with the other design, but if I was keeping the connector on, obviously I was using this, and then you can't get heat shrink on there like you could if there was no connector. But with this, I would just toss a small zip tie at each end, and then depending on how long the wiring harness was that I was working on at the time, I may have thrown a couple zip ties throughout the wiring harness. But other than that, it looks fantastic, way more durable than the plastic sheathing that you find in cars. So if you guys have used something like this, please let me know your guys' thoughts. And if you're looking into something like this, make sure that you're looking at a brand that actually states whether or not it can handle any sort of heat or not. That is very important, especially if you're using it in the automotive field. And here's just kind of an image of it being used on various different cables and wires. Next up is an Aries product. This is a 3-piece 90-tooth ratchet set. Aries has a few different ratchet sets. They have their more generic design, their lower tooth count, and then they have like their quick release, which is a little bit bulkier, more of your generic design. They have this flush head, low profile, non-quick release 90-tooth ratchet, which I don't personally have experience with this specific product, but I do have a handful of Aries products and have been very pleased with the products. And if I were to buy any ratchet set from them, this is one of them that I would consider. I do like the design. I like the low profile of them. It's more of your mid-range ratchet than some of their other designs and some of those other brands that you find on Amazon. This is definitely going to be a close internal design. I want to say, if I remember, I haven't cleaned my ratchets in probably about a year now, but I want to say this imitates my Gearwrench ratchet, if I remember correctly. It's got that metal shim around the main gear and the dual pawls there on a pawl on each side, and just that design, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering my Gearwrench ratchets look like this. So you're going to get 1/4-inch drive, 3/8, and 1/2-inch drive. And then I do like the knurling on the handles. I like the organizer. Now, if you don't have the space for it, this isn't the best organizer, but if you have the space, I personally like the foam organizers. My Gearwrench ratchets, they have either came in the plastic blow molded cases or the foam like this, and anytime I can, I will use these as long as they don't take up too much space. This one isn't the smallest foam organizer, but if you have the space for it, it is a nice organizer. And 4.5 stars at 517 ratings at just under $45. I want to say that's around $14, just over $14 a ratchet, so definitely priced very well for a 3-piece 90-tooth ratchet set. Other than that, I think it's a good deal. Please let me know your guys' thoughts. And then last up for this week is a Capri Tools item. This is a 3/8 drive 12-point socket set, shallow and deep. It includes a ratchet, a couple of extensions, an extension slash breaker bar slash T-handle. This is going to be a 29-piece master set with 8 through 19 millimeter in both shallow and deep. You're also going to get a universal joint. This is down from $70 to $58 or $59, a savings of 16%. This has 5 stars at 9 reviews, so not a whole lot, but I have a decent amount of Capri Tools experience, and I have been very pleased with a lot of their tools, so it is definitely a brand that I suggest. Now, keep in mind, this is $70, and they have their SAE set, last time I looked on the Capri Tools website, at this $70, but I could not find the metric set for some reason. I don't know if they're discontinuing it or if it's just sold out right now. I figure at the $58 or $59, that's a very good price for what you're getting. A nice quality ratchet and 8 through 19 millimeter for for the 3/8 drive. Now keep in mind they are 12-point sockets. This isn't the 6-point socket set, but definitely a good little set. And then you do have that, I want to say it's a 10-inch, yeah, a 10-inch extension, and then you have this portion here that you can attach a socket to and use this as either a breaker bar or a T-handle or anything like that. So that was kind of a cool little addition to the set. And then here's everything that's going to be included. Hopefully you can see that. If you would like, you can pause. This is a 72 tooth ratchet, 3, 6, and 10-inch extension, and 8 through 19, not skipping a size. So a nice complete socket set in both shallow and deep. Alrighty, YouTubers, so that's it as far as this week's Amazon tool deals, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. We had, a wide array of things, some wiring, accessories, some questionable great neck product. I would like your guys' opinion on it. Is it something that you would lean towards, or is it something that you would stay away from? As far as the product, have you had good or bad experiences with that brand? Then you got this set, which is priced very well, especially at that $59. So a wide array of items here this week. I'm going to try and do something a little bit more special next week. I'm going to try and find a handful of USA made and possibly Japan made tools. I may try and do that once a month or once every couple months. Try and do like a German made Amazon tool deals week and a USA made tool deals week, and things like that. So next week I'm going to try and do a USA and Japan made tools, just depending on how many I can find. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I will have these plus many other tools that I suggest linked down in the description for you guys under the tools and tools continued link. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next time.